Hey YouTubers, Raven here,
Starfire.
and tonight we're talking about The Flash.
Season 7, Episode 9, Timeless.
7 of 9. Because this episode is 7 of 9.
I mean, yeah. If you're doing the 7 by 9, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a good episode.
Yeah. It was a decent one.
It was.
I
I like that Cisco and Camilla had the same thought.
Yes.
Which means they'll get to go off together and be together.
Yeah. Their first stop, San Francisco,
Which is
for the
how
art
it
exhibit.
Should be.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, how are you going to tell Team Citizen? How are you going to tell Team Flash?
Right. Yeah. It's fine. Chester's there.
Yeah.
This is my happy face for Chester.
I like Chester. We just don't know that much about him.
He has fucking powers, and we don't know how he controls them. We've never seen. Ever since they put him in that capsule to get his powers under control, we've never seen him do anything with them.
I also would like to see them go back to the consequences that they told us that Iris was going to face from being in the mirror universe.
Mm-hmm.
Because we haven't seen that.
No.
In these episodes.
Nope.
So, please go back to that.
Yeah. I'm glad that we'll be training Wurza in the next episode, though.
Yeah.
We brought her back to life. Booyah.
Bum, 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 bum. So does that mean that Barry and Iris are essentially gods?
They're parents.
Parents to 3 kids.
Mm-hmm. 2 of which believe themselves to be gods.
Just because you have powers does not make you a god.
Oh, hell no. But
anybody can have powers. It's about how you use them and how far you go with them and how much you use them.
Yep.
Well, what makes you a god is that you are all powerful and you cannot be defeated. Essentially.
I mean, Zeus killed his dad, who was a god.
Yeah, but
so...
but you know what I mean. Like, essentially, that's what the definition of it is. In a way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
know. A person that is really uber powerful and hard to kill, if not impossible.
Yeah.
And who can basically do impossible things.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, Barry can be considered the speed god.
Technically.
Only he's faster than, the ones of the past.
Yeah. It was nice to see the OG Wells.
Yes.
And then, Iris and Barry had a disagreement.
Yes, and I do love how Iris did her ground and said, "Then you're doing it without me."
Yeah.
And walked off. She was right.
Mm-hmm.
I sided with her throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. But I mean, it took Joe to convince Barry.
Yeah.
Joe's always able to give that word of wisdom to Barry.
Yeah.
Like, if Iris can't get through to him, then Joe can get through to him.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like Iris and Joe are always on the same page.
Yeah.
I love how Iris realized that, like, they were her kids before Barry was told they were his kids. Yeah. Iris figured it out. Barry was told. I love that.
Right.
And, like, I don't know. Like, I love that they have a little bit of each of them inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's an interesting concept.
It is.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm sorry. But
Sleep.
I do. Slept a lot today, though. I think.
At least you're off tomorrow too.
Yeah. But it's just the whole, I don't know, like, I love that Barry got to see, I guess you can say, their conception.
Yeah. The creation being
Mhm.
born.
The moment of birth.
Yeah.
But, like, it was beautiful. Like, I love how they did that. You know, the colors in the sky. Because last time we saw that, all we saw was lightning colors.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to see how it looked in the sky above. Right above the building.
Mm-hmm.
But we did this time, and it was gorgeous.
It was really cool.
Yeah. I'm glad that they got Alexa to wake up. They brought her back to life. I liked her character. And I'm glad that she's gonna get a second chance at life.
Mm-hmm.
And that she's gonna, be training under them to learn how to control Flerza.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I don't know. I think it's cool.
It is. I'm glad.
Like they're taking on that parent role.
Yeah. Which will help them for their future children.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then we saw that Nora is out to destroy them because Barry didn't go through with it. So Nora is now.
And she's about to kill Dion.
Yes.
The slow force.
Mm-hmm. And I was just like, she's the speed, he's the slow. He can slow down her speed, therefore she can't kill him. Mm-hmm. Just slow her speed down, and it can't go through you and kill you.
Right. I do like, however, that at least so far, they're kind of sticking a little bit to the way of the comics. Like, the Psych Force and the Speed and the Slow Force aren't friends with the Speed Force. Yeah. But Flerza, like, teamed up with Barry a lot. Or not Barry. Whoever was the Flash. I'm not sure if it was Barry. I think it was. But the Flash. Flerza teamed up with the Flash and helped him a lot, like, in that storyline. So, I like that Flerza is again teaming up with the Flash and learning stuff from him. And then you also have Psych, who's like, fuck no, and Dion, who's like, screw all of you. Yeah. You know? But I am, like, I don't like, but I also don't hate the fact that Dion isn't the supervillain. Like, that's Psych. So they did turn that around, because in the thing that I saw, the comic story and whatnot, like the storyline, like the Slow Force was the villain, was the super villain, and Psych was just the dude who was like using his powers for his own gain, like on this like villain continent or whatever, like this area where only villains really hung out, and so you could like sell, trade, and everything, and like he was there like spying and stuff. So like he was kind of doing what Dion is doing, But then now this version of Psych is doing what the slow version was doing in that comic storyline, So I like that turn because it wasn't as expected, But also like I'm like I think that like having Turtle would have been really interesting, especially in like in the story, but I do understand why they couldn't go with that because Turtle attacked Barry's past. Like, and future Barry didn't go back in time. It was past Barry, or Flash, I'm pretty sure it was Barry. It was past Barry who went to the future, saw it as, like, he was just running and he, like, ran too fast and went to the future. And saw that his future, his old self, not like a couple years down the road, like, he has, like, a beard and he's scruffy looking type old self. And his suit consisted of a red vest and pants. And I was like, that looked cool.
Yeah.
But,
oh, for the Flash?
And he was fighting, like, this old dude in a turtle outfit. And he couldn't beat him then. And, like, it was just so interesting. And the fact that that version of Barry was never able to kill the dude, or not just kill, like, defeat him, whether or not they killed him, right? But then, like, you got to see Barry at the beginning of his Flashdom defeat not just the future version of Turtle that came from the future, but also the present day version of Turtle. And I was like, why couldn't the other version of Barry do this? But it's because he never went to the future and saw what happened. And so, he did, but he didn't. But he didn't fall prey to, like, the fact that he wasn't fast enough to do it. He wasn't, that they could slow him down. He was like, no, they're gonna kill the people I love, and they believe in me. They believe I have the strength to do this, and that's how he, like, he did it with, the strength of others. And I think that would have been a great story, but I also see how, well, Barry's been at this long enough,
right,
in the show, that doing that storyline wouldn't really work,
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just... So I do see why they had to change Slow from the villain Turtle to Dion. But yeah, it was interesting. And Nora's gonna kill him.
Yeah, of course. So, like, the bad is her. Because,
well, yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
She's been the bad of this season.
Yeah. But Iris and Barry probably gonna bring him back when they find out. They're gonna find him and bring him back to life, like they did with Barza.
Yeah.
And try to help him.
I don't really know what to say about the episode. I mean, it was good, but, like, I mean, it was interesting with Psyche and, like, how she was able to sense that, it was, like, still him within, like, the nightmare. And kept saying, hey, she's not real, like, and all this stuff. And, yeah.
Yeah, I think this episode was more of an introspection on the character. Like, they had to deal with how they felt for things. And don't really talk about that. That's something that's more so shown. And, like, it was more of an introspective episode for every character.
Yeah.
Like, Cisco was, you could tell something.
I just hope that he's not like, I hope this wasn't his last episode. I hope that, like,
it wasn't. He still has to tell the team.
Yeah, because I mean, they said at the the end of season 7, so he'd still be around for this season, but we're not going to probably see him every episode this season.
Yeah.
But after this season, we won't see him as nearly as much.
Yeah. I mean, him and Wells will come back off and on to do, like, cameos, guest appearances, maybe a storyline here or there, But, yeah, they're not They're not gonna be regulars anymore. We were expecting that with Wells.
Yeah. But with Cisco, I kind of was, because remember they had hinted about it before that like he probably was gonna be leaving.
But then with COVID and everything.
Yeah, but for this now, like for sure it's happening.
Mhm.
So it's I don't know. I understand like actors want to leave. I understand they want something different and they want to move on. It's just hard when they've been there since the beginning, because you've just gotten used to seeing them and you like their character and you become invested. And so like when they leave, it's just hard because a piece of the show is missing and it doesn't feel the same anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just weird.
Yeah. But I mean, there was a while there for like a full season and a half where you hardly ever saw Cisco at all.
It's true.
And it was just like,
I think it would be more weird if like Caitlin left.
Mhm.
Or like Joe or something like that. I mean, Cisco has always kind of he's been a regular, but he's always kind of just been like a supporting character.
Mhm.
And so when he's not been on it, he's been missed, but like at the same time, you're kind of, you don't always necessarily notice.
I noticed most of the time because, like, especially when they needed scientific help.
Yeah, or when you need that, like, comedy in it that you're missing.
Mhm.
But,
like, when they needed the scientific help and then it was Caitlin who stepped up, I'm like, but she's not as...
Yeah.
This isn't... No.
Right.
She's not that sort of science. She's a, like, medical science doctor type person.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a medical scientist. She has her doctorate, right? She's Dr. Caitlin Snow.
I believe so.
Whatever.
I think she is, yeah.
So it's just like, as long as they don't use the incorrect people to do a different field of science, then it's fine. But it was more so those moments when I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But like, he spent the majority of last season in Atlantis, you know?
He did.
And then before that, he was running around researching for the cure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, no. Like,
yeah.
He hasn't been in the show as a regular for over a season.
True.
And it's, I don't know, like, I've been feeling like he was leaving for longer than they were hinting at, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And now they finally are, so they don't have to play with my feelings, and I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Gonna miss him, but at the same time, I'm like, at least we're done playing will he, won't he?
Right. I mean, it's cool that I got to meet him in person, so.
Yes.
Him and Danielle. I wish the others were there, especially Candace and Grant, but it's okay.
Yeah. Maybe next time.
Maybe.
But yeah, like, just like I know that won't be the last time we see Frost. This won't be the last time.
But like we said last time, this is gonna give Caitlin a chance. This is gonna give Caitlin's character a chance to really shine, and hopefully we'll get to see more of her and who Caitlin Snow is.
And maybe we'll finally get to learn more about Chester.
Hopefully,
that's his name, right? Yes. So now there's only gonna be 2 people on Team Citizen.
We'll probably get somebody else at some point.
It's Allegra, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The allergy medicine.
Yeah. Now they have Alexa and Allegra, and I'm just like, I already thought, half the time I already called Allegra Alexa.
Wait, what was, Alexa, like the smart device thing?
Yeah. And now we have Alexa. She's Fuerza. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I thought last time when the character of Alexa was introduced. I was like, well, now this is gonna be a huge problem for me because I'm gonna say Alexa and mean Allegra. And
yeah.
Yeah. This is why they say when you write stories, you don't use names that are similar to characters you're already using.
Yeah. Well, maybe it makes it easier for them.
Anyways, yes, I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah,
And Daddy Barry better get his ass together.
Yes, he better.
So.
I mean, I don't really know what else to say.
Okay. So until next time, keep believing in the impossible.